Spiders.
What? Say that again.
Spiders! Thanks for having me.
Seen any of our other episodes?
I have. I've seen all of your episodes. I subscribe.
All two?
All two.
Oh, there's three now.
All three. We won't do repeats of things I've said in interviews already with you or other interviews that have come up over the past years.
Oh, so you've done other interviews then?
You're not my first. Sorry.
Wow.
But you're my one and only. Not only did I start so young, as you already know, as a kid, but I did theater first. I did a lot of theater. I did a lot of professional theater, but also fringe theater, creating my own theater. I wrote a one-woman show. So stage is what really, I think for me, helped hone my craft. Audience feedback, the audience reactions, my family. I mean, that's really why I started acting, was I loved making my mom laugh. And my great-grandmother, may she rest in peace at the time, who was still alive. She was always in the hospital for most of the years I remember her, but I would go and I would make her laugh. When I dove into theater pretty professionally in my 20s, I loved hearing or when I would even do a drama, I loved hearing the reaction of the audience. David Shea was my director, and it was a show called 5 Women Wearing the Same Dress. Yeah, it's the first time I showed my boobs on stage. I was in a bra, but I did have to like lift my shirt up, and it just says she lifts her shirt. And I remember I wanted my grandparents to see the show, so I asked my director, I told David, I said, could I still have a bra on though? And he was like, of course, that's fine. One of the reasons, not one of the reasons, probably the reason I am a happily married woman to the man who's sitting across from me right now interviewing me, because that was the first show I did with Nairi Clark, then Nairi Clark, who later introduced me to David S. Hogan. I would say you got to be a hustler. You got to make sure that theater or film, that people know who you are. So you can't just assume because you got cast once, like, oh, cool, lean back. This is a career that I think you need to be constantly training. So I think you can't just assume you know it all just because you got your BFA. You know, I learned some stuff in college, don't get me wrong. And I've learned stuff from every single show I've done as well. I've also learned stuff from teaching. I think for our market, for Seattle, do the TPS general auditions. That's great for theater. In Seattle, you call them or email or snail mail, depending on what they request online, for an interview/audition. You go in there, you do a monologue, and they have you do some cold copy, and they sign you or not. If you're rolling in some big mansion and you've got some $10,000 a month mortgage, probably not going to be a working actor covering those bills in a small market. But, you know, if you were in a roommate situation or have a little bit more reasonable mortgage or rent, don't go out and eat every single day. I mean, it just depends. Favorite stage role? Oh, that's a hard one. That's hard because I think there's roles that have really challenged me. Yeah, okay, Crow, okay. The Crow says, that's so interesting. I would say one of the most challenging, which by the fact that it challenged me became such a favorite recently, was I was Izza in the world premiere of the play Knocking Bird. I had to become a bird within the play. I mean, it's really this cool, dark piece that it's a woman kind of lost in her identity, lost in this interesting marriage and relationship, and by that he almost entraps her in this cabin in the woods and slowly realizes the gift he gave her, which is this birdhouse, is really the world in which he's created for her to live. Or is it all in his mind? But
sounds pretty weird.
It was weird. It was really cool. Emily Combert is so phenomenal. She's an amazing playwright. I got to finally tread the boards, as it were, at the Seattle Repertory Theater. And I was Gabriella, the Italian flight attendant in the wonderful comedy Boing Boing. And that was a blast. Great costumes, great cast, not motorcycles ruining the play. I think the most fun, like my favorite, most fun role was Rosie Finkelstein of Ira Finkelstein's Christmas, which now has been renamed Switchmas, with Elliot Gould and David DeLuise and Cynthia Geary, Elijah Nelson, who is just a phenomenal actor. And I think he was 11, maybe 11 or 12 when we did that, and we just got to do another feature film. Which again, you guys, work begets work. Uh-oh. Squirrely break. So now talk about the most amazing experience on a film set. And wait for it. This was the smallest role I have ever had on film. And it is hands down probably the most incredible experience of my acting career. And the reason why it was the most incredible experience is I ended up spending 3 days with them filming on the ocean, in a catamaran, in a boat, surrounded by seals and whales, and it was gorgeous weather, and we were like speeding on this boat, and I got to drive the boat some of the times, and I'm talking like, 40 knots, which is pretty badass, felt good. I love being the director of the youth division for Mighty Tripod. I wanted to be able to offer something for the youth, because it's hard. Parents are going to be doing this for these kids' entire career, or at least until they're 18, and you say, hey, go get a job, right? I truly love it. I sit there, I get emotional almost every class. I mean, we just have an amazing time. I encourage parents to be in the room, because I wish someone had done that with my mom when I had started at such a young age, because she didn't know about the business. And I think it's easy for parents to get taken advantage of. So I think what I love to do for our adult acting classes, and even the youth, is to make sure that I'm looking at, okay, what is David struggling with? Oh, commercial work. Okay, let me really work with him on commercial. Oh, he's got his monologue in the bag. Oh, scene study? Oh my God, he's an amazing scene partner. But knowing that you're not just teaching your 14 students like they're all one person. With Mighty Tripod and with teaching, the reason I really wanted to teach and teach with my other half was how many times we ourselves need to be reminded, like, all we have is us, and that's enough, and be able to tell other people that too.
Scary.
Spiders.
What?
Spiders!
Well, so why?
Ooh, that's why my mom gave me this cup. You really want to know? I mean, I could tell you exactly, to the minute. Spiders, like I said back in the day when my mom was a single mom, and my sister and I used to have to share the only bedroom. My mom slept out on the couch, and we had just a mattress on the floor. Easy for the spiders. See where I'm going? And when you're going to bed and you kind of get those like tinglies, like, oh, your body's starting to fall asleep, and it kind of feels like, ugh, but it's just your body. So I was feeling that, and I just happened to go, feels weird. And it must have been summer, because I don't remember having a blanket or a sheet over us. And I looked down, and there was a ginormity.
That's like...
That's what it seemed like. It was probably only like that. But it's a huge spider on my leg. I was maybe 8, maybe 7 or 8. No. I was probably 6 or 7. 6 or 7, because this one was just the 3 of us. And it was crawling up my leg, and I just completely froze and had the thing that you dream when you're in a horror dream or a nightmare, and you can't scream, and like no, it's like that, and like no, and I could not scream. What's my favorite food? Everyone knows that. Nachos.
That's your favorite food?
Pretty much. It was in the last interview. Check out the first interview, David S. Hogan Show, for all the nacho ingredients and how to make Mama DiMarco's nachos.